Can anyone please share with me their expectations of these events? What do you expect, or what do you look forward to in these events? And I really hope that we meet your expectations. Anyone can unmute your mic and speak. I'll be listening. Do you want me to call names? Rosalind, do you want to speak? Do you have any expectations for these events? Anyone?
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Right.
Taiwo,
I'm happy joining this.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. My expectations are to learn how to impact my society and also influence those around me. That's one of the reasons why
I like that already. I like that. Thank you, Taiwo, for sharing that expectation. And I like that because I'm sure you would learn more, especially because of the caliber of people who are going to be on this panel and be speaking from their experience. I'm hoping that you get inspired to do even more for your community. Can we have Abayomi Olubobokun? I hope that's correct this time.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Hello,
good evening, Miss Oluwatofe. Good evening, Mr. Jerry, and every other volunteers. Good evening. It's great to be in your midst of great minds like this.
I'm excited to have you.
So when I at first when I saw the post Mr. Jerry made, I felt like I was like, yes, this is it. When I saw the people, the panelists, and every other team involved, I knew it was going to be a great event. So I look forward to learning, to relearning, to unlearn, and also to like meet and everything. I just hope I'm able to enjoy myself.
Thank you.
And get inspired.
For sharing, Abayomi. Thank you very much. Do you have another person? I think this will be the last one before we start officially. Do we have any other person that wants to share their expectations with the team or with everybody? Anyone? Just in case, I'm not sure I'm able to see everybody at the same time, so I might not see your hand, but please, if you want to join, just raise up your hand. I'm sure okay, so I'll just start. Hello everyone. My name is Shofola Boluwatife. I'm the programs manager at United Way Greater Nigeria, and I feel honored to be moderating this event in commemoration of the International Youth Day 2024. I'm excited. If you are excited as I am, I'd like you to use your emojis, send it to the chat box. I want to see them because I'm very excited. I'm excited to be meeting great minds and to learn, relearn, just like someone here had said. And I'm just open to, network virtually. I can already see some of the emojis. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Yes, so like I said earlier, my name is Shofola Boluwatife. I'm the programs manager at United Way Greater Nigeria, and I'll be moderating these events in commemoration of the International Youth Day. The theme completes to progress youth digital pathway sustainable development. Hello, sorry, can anyone hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you are.
Okay, like I said, the theme is from clicks to progress, Youth Digital Pathway for Sustainable Development. I welcome you with the first, this is the first virtual International Day event that we'll be holding, and I'm excited to have all volunteers across Nigeria participating in this. So I know I'd already asked some of you to tell me what your expectations are, and I'm really excited because these expectations align with some of the things that we also look forward to doing in this event. You can be rest assured that you'll be learning a whole lot, you'll be networking, and even you'll be getting familiar with the work we do at United Way Greater Nigeria. And of course, there are prizes to be won. So what is an International Youth Day event without prizes to be won? So we are going to take care of all of that. And I really want you guys to please, you see, my energy is already right for these events. I also want you to have this same energy. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so while we go on with these events, I would like to please put or state some of the rules that I'm hoping would guide these events. First off, I would like to say that at all time, please be on mute. I understand that you may be at home, and for some of us who are kids, I understand that our children needs our time and we may get distracted, but please do not unmute unless you're asked to. And this is just to minimize distractions. Another thing is, if you're to put on your camera, please ensure that you are in a place that we can see, or that is comfortable and good enough for us to see. So yeah, yes, and I'm hoping that we learn basically. Please let us try as much as possible to just guide. I hope this rule guides these events. Yes. And if you have any concerns, you want to share your thoughts, always use the chat box. If you need to speak, please use the hand raised emoji, and if you're granted to, would let you speak. With that being said, I would try to go through some of the event or set aside guidelines that we have. So first off, sorry, we'll be going through a brief history of United Way Greater Nigeria, and then would have the panelists speak to us about, we'll have the panelists, and yeah, we'll have the panelists, and then we have volunteers who have worked with United Way across like different states in Nigeria, although we may not be able to take all the states that United Way had worked in, but we'll be able to select some volunteers to just speak to us briefly. And then we have the honor of having someone who is a past recipient of the International Youth Day. Yes, so in due time, you'll be hearing from them. And then we have prizes and games, you understand? But so I guess we can just start. But before we start, can we please, is anybody ready? If you're ready, say I'm ready, and you can type that on the chat box so that I'll just start. If you're ready, let me see your emojis. Let me see you say that. I love ready. That. Thank you, but please always stay on mute unless I ask you to. Thank you. So I'll just run us through what United Way is, our work, our focus, and every other thing that you need to know about United Way. This is the tea. You cannot know about United Way from any other person better than what I'm about to share with you. So I'd like you to please listen and yeah, just concentrate. United Way Greater Nigeria is an affiliate of United Way Worldwide, which is an international non-profit organization that works to improve health, education, and financial security of everyone in the community. United Way Worldwide has been empowering lives for over 135 years and serves about 95% of the United States communities. We have United Way as its presence in over 37 countries and territory. Meanwhile, our presence in Africa, so we have United Way Ghana. I don't know if you've heard of United Way Ghana. There's United Way South Africa, and then we have United Way Greater Nigeria. While United Way Greater Nigeria is the youngest amongst the United Way across Africa, because we started operations in Nigeria in 2018. United Way Greater Nigeria helps to improve lives by mobilizing the caring power of Nigerians um, for a greater good. Yes, we are currently in all states in Nigeria. However, we've been able to implement projects across 23 states. So if we're yet to implement projects in your state, you can be rest assured that very soon we're coming to a state, if not your state, we're coming to a state close to you. And I really, really hope that we would have as many people volunteer with us across these states. United Way focus area is further broken down. So we have it's further broken down into 4 areas. We have quality education and learning outcome. We have youth productivity and decent jobs. We have women's health and empowerment. We have food security. And a big part of the work that we do, which is where you come in, is our amazing volunteers. Please send yourself a virtual applause, please. So we work across these states, and our way of carrying out these tasks is through our amazing volunteers, which is why I think this event is very important to celebrate your work and also all that you do for the community. And that was why when someone mentioned that he's looking to learn how to impact the community more, I was excited because this definitely aligns. It aligns. So with that being said, I believe that United Way is doing great and amazing work, and I want us to celebrate United Way by sending in our emojis, please. Send in emojis, give us our accolades now that we can see them. I'm not seeing any emojis. Oh, okay, let's keep it coming. Or just in case you also want to know more about our work, I think please there will be a link in the website, or I said website. There will be a link on the chats now or very soon if it's not there already to our website. You can always access our work on the platform on the website. And if you're looking forward to giving towards our cause, you want to advocate for our cause, and you want to volunteer, all of that informations are available on our website. And I would really, really, really love for you to check out our website. In case you have any questions, you can also send us an email. So there is an email is on our website. So if you go there and you're curious enough, you can always send us an email. And I look forward to seeing more people. So tell a friend to tell a friend to do what? To volunteer with United Way Greater Nigeria. Thank you. That's basically it. That's a short brief of what United Way work is across Nigeria. And I would not like to take much of our time. So we'll just go into the next segment of the event, which is basically bringing up our panelists. So like I said earlier, we have amazing people who are bringing about change in the communities and actually have been collaborating towards achieving sustainable development across Nigeria and even beyond. If you have not seen the flyer of our speakers, I'll be bringing them up very soon. But before that, you must know that these people have, for the person that said he wants to learn, I can assure you that these people have what it takes to teach you. So I would like us to be attentive and just hear them when they speak. I'll say when they pour out their minds to us. And I hope that every one of us can take home 1 or 2 things. United Way, I must say that they brought in amazing people who are not just talking, but are definitely doing the work. So the first person I'll be introducing in no order is I'll be introducing Brenda Yes, I'll be introducing Brenda. Thank you. I see your emojis. Thank you. I see Brenda. She's the founder of Brain Care Foundation. 1 minute. I'd like to read about to us. Hello, Jerry. Please, could you share your screen? Thank you. Okay, I'll be starting with Brenda. So we have the honor of having Brenda on this panel. Let's just wait a minute. Okay, while we wait, I'll just read a short bio about Brenda Effiong Akpata. Okay, Brenda Effiong Akpata is a passionate, high-performing community impact and corporate sustainability professional with over 10 years of demonstrable experience. She has a proven track record in leading impact and purpose-driven initiative, implementing corporate social responsibilities program, and driving strategic initiative that is related to social and community engagement. She also has a track record in issue management, social investment for leading organizations. As the founder of Brain Care Foundation, which is a youth-led organization, Brenda is dedicated to empowering young people, especially young girls, with sexual and reproductive health and rights, informations, and services. The foundation guides them in making informed choices about their lives and future and leads advocacy against gender-based violence. Brenda is also the host of 20s Lessons with B, an initiative that empowers young people by equipping them with the knowledge and skills that is needed in their 20s. She's a multi-faced professional, which has the expertise in social impact and sustainability, public relations, project management, communications, SRH, and gender issues, event management, counseling, and coaching. Please, can we please give Brenda a virtual applaud for the great work that she has been doing across different initiatives and even as the founder of Brain Care Foundation. Let us please celebrate Brenda. Yes, yes, I see the applause coming in. So quickly, I would also introduce, she's special to me, sorry about that. I'd like to also introduce Diola Durodola. Diola Durodola is the Executive Director for United Way Greater Nigeria. So before I even speak on who she is and what she has done in Nigeria and even beyond, I'd like us to celebrate her. Yes, so while our media person is getting ready, I'll just go on. Adiola Durodola is a dynamic development professional, social worker, and gender expert with a decade experience and an impressive 18 years of informal work across varied development and humanitarian programs. Diola is currently the Executive Director of United Way Greater Nigeria, an initiative of one of the world's largest privately funded nonprofits, United Way Worldwide, which is based in United States of America. She holds a Bachelor's of Arts in English Language and a master's degree in sociology from the University of Lagos, along with an international certification as a project manager accredited by APMG International, United Kingdom. Diola is a youth facilitator and a member of Yongo, which is the official children and youth constituency of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. She's also a member at the United Nations Major Group for Children and Youth. She's recognized for her efforts in amplifying young African voices and an unwavering commitment to effecting positive change in Africa development landscape. Diola was recently appointed as the Assistant Secretary General of Advocacy Organization Nations. I explained that before. Let's send in emojis celebrating her and the work that she has been doing. Thank you. Okay, I'll be introducing another panelist, which is no other person but Elizabeth Talatu Williams. She's the founder of Sustainable Impact and Development Initiative. Elizabeth Talatu Williams is a development practitioner with 10 years of professional experience designing and implementing social impact projects that is focused on sexual and reproductive health and rights, HIV and AIDS, gender-based violence, and family planning. She has an MSc in International Development from the University of Birmingham, UK. She's the founder of Sustainable Impact and Development Initiative, which is a youth-led nonprofit that advances adolescent and young people's sexual and reproductive health and rights. She currently serves as the national coordinator of AFRIAN Nigeria, where she oversees 100 youth-led organizations working on youth health and development in Nigeria. She has spoken at several high-level meetings advocating for young people's SRHR, United Nations General Assembly, International Conference on Population and Development, International Conference on Family Planning, and Women Deliver Conference. She's a 2017 yearly RFC alumni, 2018 CYFI Fellow, 2020 Women Deliver Young Leader, and 2021 Chevron Scholar. Elizabeth's work was recognized by Future Award Africa as one of the 15 finalists for the Nigerian Prize for Difference and Diversity. Elizabeth envisions a world where every young person can fulfill their true potential. I'd like us to please send in emojis. Thank you for please send in your emojis, and I would like to appreciate Brenda, Elizabeth, and Diola for joining us on the call today. I would also like to, hello. So do we have Brenda on the call? If we have Brenda on the call, please could you just say hi to our volunteers and the amazing audience listening to you?
Okay, hi everyone. Can you see me?
Yes. Thank you for joining
hello
the
everyone.
call.
It's my pleasure to be here. And let me also use this opportunity to say Happy International Youth Day. I know that the 12th of August was International Youth Day, but we are commemorating it today, by the way. So it's still IYD Day. So this day resonates with me a whole lot. So, and I hope that it resonates with you too. So thank you for taking out time to join us today.
Thank you. It's good to hear from you. So, Diola, can we please hear from you?
Hello, everyone. I'm excited. Sorry, Bolu, we were still speaking. But I'm just excited about how everything has been going on. Well done, everyone. Thank you everyone for joining. My name is Deola, like you already know, and I'm a member of the team, and I'm a member of, we are all on the same team. Brenda and Elizabeth are our guests today. I am more of an in-house person. So yeah, I've been chatting with some of you on the chats as well. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining once again. Happy International Women's Youth Day. Thank you for also having me. I'm excited to speak and share my experiences today as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Can we please hear from Elizabeth? Hello, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us. I would like you to say hello to the audience.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Happy International Youth Day to everyone. As everybody else has said, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm with my fellow boss ladies within the development space. And it's quite interesting because, the three of us literally, we all have that, connection with regards to our stories. And I'm sure by the time we start to share, you begin to see the similarities, in our stories when we start to share them. So yeah, looking forward to the conversation. And at the same time, looking forward to also learning from every other person that is on the call. So I don't think it's just the panelists who are going to be shared. I hope that the volunteers who are on the call will also get to share, their own stories as well, even if it's within the chat box. So looking forward to it. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you for joining. I really appreciate all the panelists that we have on the call today. And I'm so excited. Like I said earlier, we would learn, would unlearn, and just as a way of imparting not just ourselves and even the society at large. So I'll start with Elizabeth. And I'm starting the discussion with Elizabeth because I'm a big fan of hers. I follow her and her work and the amazing things that she does. And I see, let me not even get into all of that. Let me just go straight into this discussion. So Elizabeth, like I said earlier, I see a lot of your work online, and I would like if you can shed more light on how digital technology has empowered you as a youth to actually drive the change, not just the change that we have read about, but even the change that we have all seen. So for anyone who has been following Elizabeth, you can sit down as a bio. This is something that she has actually done. And I expect, or I'm hoping that everyone would learn from her. So yeah, you can. We want to hear you speak now.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Bolu. And I'm honored to hear all of the kind words that you said about me and the work that I do. Yeah, so digital technology is such a huge part of our lives right now. We're currently here now thanks to digital technology.
Sure.
We're in different parts of the world, different parts of the country. We're all here together having this conversation, all thanks to digital technology. And so it's such a great amplifier and a great way to carry out social impact work. So I would say first and foremost, when I started working within the development space, one thing that was synonymous to young people has always been digital technology, right? How we're able to leverage on that to reach other young people with life-saving information. And in my case, a lot of the time was sexual reproductive health and rights. And so that just simply meant, organizing social media activities and social media events to sort of ensure that young people have access to this life-saving information. And so digital technology is such a great tool that can be used to, one, provide, accurate information on sexual reproductive health and rights. It can also be used to amplify, right? So for instance, if I conduct a community outreach, I'm limited by the number of persons I can reach, maybe 50 people, 100 people. But by the time you conduct, a digital activity, you're able to amplify and reach more people and get that message out there to more people. Another beautiful thing that digital technology does for you is it allows you to document your work, right? So to a very large extent, when I think back through on all of the work I've done, I mean, I've been in this for close to more than 10 years. And so when you think through on all of the work that you've done, you end up seeing that you have a digital footprint, of all the things that you have done. And so people can always go back to that and see, oh, you didn't just fall from the sky. You've been doing this work for quite a long time. And this is like the social impact, the social change that you've been able to achieve over a period of time. So it's definitely something that helps you document the work that you're doing. Another thing is collaboration and partnership. There are so many people, so many young change makers, advocates like myself, who at the initial stage of me working within the development space, I got to meet them through social media. We would collaborate and have social media activities together, collaborate and do social media events together. And for some of them, I'd never met them before. They were in different parts of the world, but digital technology was it was a platform that was able to connect us, right? To be able to make all of those initiatives come to be. And impact was made as a result of that. So digital technology is such a powerful tool to foster partnerships and collaborations for you to be able to do good work, right? To be able to make an impact and to be able to reach a lot of people. The last thing I would say is that digital technology is such a cost-effective medium to carry out social impact work. For instance, if you want to do a community outreach, and I'm sure Diola can testify and Brenda can testify, it requires a lot of money, a lot of resources, to be able to pull that off, right? And at the end of the day, not to dismiss the impact, that has. It has such a good impact because not everybody is on digital. Not everybody has digital technology or has access to digital technology, right? So you still need to carry out in-person activities and in-person events. But it's quite cost intensive. It requires a lot of resources. Whereas for digital technology, you probably just need to buy data, which you have probably done now, and just make sure you're in a place where you can access, the platform. And of course, with hybrid solutions now, where we're beginning to have watch parties, we're beginning to have digital hubs during in-person events. So basically, like, you can have an event and have like a center where you're still connecting people digitally, but you're not probably online, right? So that's beginning to be something that's coming up quite a lot. Live streaming as well is also something that is beginning to happen quite a lot, where you might not be on Zoom, but you can also join the activity through Facebook. You can join the activity through, Instagram, right? Because they're all connected, So that's also another way that we're sort of bridging that gap. But basically, it's just a more cost-effective way to reach more people and create much more impact, especially for young people who, you don't have so much financial resources to be able to do the work that you want to do. Digital technology helps you kind of like bridge that gap. So I'll stop here and allow others speak. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. I love the part where you said digital technology helps to transmit life-saving information. And so the part where you said that it had helped you to connect to people that you were not physically in the same space or zone, to actually collaborate and partner. That's amazing. I don't know about everyone on the call, but me, I'm taking down notes and I intend on using these notes. And I would like to encourage you to also take out time to put down notes, because you never know. So please take out notes, and I'm sure they'll be important to you. I know you want to listen, but at the same time, these notes will help you know things that you should put in place in creating or bringing about change. When she was speaking, she did mention about digital footprints, and I think I would like us to also look at that a little bit more. And I'll be speaking to Brenda on this. Brenda, given your expertise in the nonprofit space, would you say that digital innovations or engagements should take the place of grassroots or community engagement? I'd like you to share your thoughts on that.
Okay, so hi everyone. Back here again. Please confirm you can see me.
Yes.
Oh, okay, because my network is quite not stable. I've been trying to switch accounts. Oh, okay. So to answer your question, I know that Elizabeth has spoken a lot. Hi, Elizabeth. She has spoken a lot about, importance of digital, technology, the whole impact on social impact work and community engagement. And I would say that is a whole lot, like she mentioned, partnership, collaboration, being cost effective, and I would say as a social impact professional who has used both, who have used both digital technology and who has been, I love to be in the field very, very well. In fact, being on my desk, being in the office, it bites me. I like community engagement. I like relating with people, hearing people's stories directly, because that's, for me, that's like the motivation. When people ask me, what's your why? I'm like, when I get to the grassroots and then I'm listening to vulnerable people, I'm listening to my beneficiaries directly. So for example, we have people who do not have access to go to schools and I'm being able to connect with them. So for me, it doesn't replace, community engagement. It doesn't replace digital technology at all, but rather it creates like a balance. The two has to just, complement each other in some sort of way. So like Elizabeth mentioned, you're doing, so let's say as a young person, as a social impact professional, you go to a community and you're training maybe a group of 20 people on maybe literacy, financial literacy, or maybe you are training a group of 20 people on SDGs, how to implement SDG goals. That is what you're doing in the community. Now, you're going to this community probably because the community members do not have access to internet, right? So you are trying to reach out to these people. So what the digital does for you also, when you reach out to these people, you also amplify the work that you're doing. So you come back to us who are like, who are digitally savvy, you understand? You come back to us and transmit this information. So I think the two actually makes you to reach a wider audience. So what community engagement, grassroots engagement will basically do for you is making it to build trust. You understand? You understand your community. You understand, like you have a deep connection with the community you're working with. You have a deep connection with the beneficiaries you are working with. And it even shows credibility, because when people know that you are not just an online person, we live in a social where we live in a world where people have, done a whole lot on social media, where people just feel like, oh, this person is trying to fake it till you make it. But as a social impact person, you need to begin from the grassroots. We need to see that you're walking the talk. And that's what grassroots, engagement does for you. So you're showing us your work, but this is not for people whose work is primarily online, promoting digital technology. That is a different ball game for you. But for some of us, like Elizabeth and I and Diola, for example, especially myself and Elizabeth, who are into SRHR, so we cannot just come and we are telling people, oh, this is what we've done in SRHR, and then people are not seeing images, pictures, videos of us really engaging, with our beneficiaries. So the both complement each other, because digital technology will let the world know what you're doing. But grassroots engagement, what does it do? It makes you to get to the right people. It makes you to make right, impact. You could see your impact before your eyes. You connect with these people, you feel these people, and I feel like it should not be replaced at all, because personal connection is the real deal. I don't know how it works for other people, but for me, like I mentioned earlier, when people ask me why, is basically when I get to hear from beneficiaries, and I know that, oh, I've done this, I've impacted life, I've trained these people, and I'm seeing the improvement. Do you understand? I've been able to see the impact. I've interacted with them, and I've analyzed the impact of the work that I do. So I feel joy. I feel really, really satisfied. So I'll just say, just to wrap whatever I've been saying, I'll just say that digital technology goes hand in hand with, grassroots engagement, and cannot in any way be replaced. In fact, as a young person, your work begins from the grassroots. Let people feel what you're doing. Don't just come online to say, oh, I'm doing this, I've been able to touch 1,000 people. Yes, you can touch 1,000 people online, because when you post a video, maybe promoting use of contraceptives, for example, maybe you're trying to educate people on drug abuse, for example, you can measure your impact by the number of persons that have viewed that, that have viewed the video. But then you can also make more impact when you go to a secondary school, for example, when you go to communities, for example, to say, okay, I've interacted with online people. These people too. Probably these people do not have access to phones. So let me also impact life. So it amplifies the numbers of your reach. Thank you.
Very much for Brenda for sharing that. And I'm just going to allow Deola speak because I already know our stand on this, and I'm sure her standpoint would also help enlighten this conversation.
Yeah, thank you, Bolu. Thank you, Elizabeth and Brenda. Yes, Bolu, you are correct that you know my stand on this. I started work in development when I believe there wasn't so much of digital influence at the time, because I started, volunteering within the NGO space at the age of 13. So there wasn't a lot of technological influence at the time. You needed to be in the field. If you were going to do anything, you needed to be in the field. So of course, by the time all of this AI and of this technology, started coming up, I had to specifically, take my time to also learn, how this is going to be beneficial to the work that I do. And that's why it's important for you as a social impact development professional to also always don't take wherever position that you've had since 1775 and just stick by it. You must always, try to also improve yourself. And personally, what I've noticed really is that digital innovation should definitely complement and not replace, commercial grassroots engagements. I don't think it should. As of 2021, when I was doing my research, internet penetration in Nigeria was only about 51%. There's some projects and some work that we're trying to do now with the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, FN side. And I know that, they are currently trying as much as possible to increase that. But, it is what it is. If you leave all of the projects that you do, all of your interventions, all of your efforts to just people who can access it online, you're going to be leaving behind up to 50% of the people that you should be trying to reach. You cannot overlook that traditional grassroots engagement. That's what I think. When Brenda was speaking about some of the work that she's done, it reminded me of when I worked on the Educating Nigerian Girls, and it's called the Engine Program. It was funded by the UK Aid. It was an education program. There were a lot of activities that we could have also done online. But that particular sorry, I need milk, please. Adedeji Aishat, thank you. That particular project, and this is a project, like I said, funded by the UK Aid, DFID department actually, and they insisted that we spent more than 70% of our time on the field. It was, and this is money coming from the UK government. So if the UK government, your donor, is telling you that, that they also know the importance of the traditional engagements and grassroots engagements. We couldn't afford we were not allowed to stay on our desk for 3 times a week. You cannot be in the office 3 times a week. It's not possible. You should be on your field. And everybody had their own assigned local governments where they were working. The project was in Kano, was in Abuja, was in Lagos, as well as the FCT. So, and people were going into their communities, but people knew me more in my communities than even in the office. And I always said that this helped a lot in like the success that the project was able to achieve. It helped a real deal. Apart from the fact that you feel more connected, I think brothers, spoke about that as well. You feel more connected to your participants and your beneficiaries. I don't like to call them beneficiaries, but yeah, just for the sake of clarity, you feel more connected to them. They feel more connected to you. They are able to share challenges that they are going through with you as well. Apart from that, personally, it helped me. By the time I was going to do, I think write my master's thesis as well, I went back to the community. This is years after the project had ended. Went back to the community. It was very easy for the community members, the community leaders, the participants, the young girls that were on the project to respond to my questions. Because they know me, and it was all good. So you cannot take away that connecting factor. I believe that Nigeria is a very communal environment. We are very communal. Everybody likes to interact. Everybody wants to know what's going on with my neighbor. What's my neighbor doing? So personally, I think that that's something that works for us in Nigeria. So if you're working within the Nigerian space, you have to augment both. You have to use both side by side and not leave one outside of another. I'll stop here for now.
Thank you very much, Deola, for that. And I'm sure that every one of us are able to take the fact that digital technology can definitely not take away the grassroots engagement that we should have when we're trying to create change. And I also know that you're passionate about mentoring young people. This is something that we can all see in your bio. And I just want to say, what role do you think the youth play in shaping the future in respect to the Sustainable Development Goal? Could you briefly tell us what role the youth play in actually achieving this goal?
Is that question to me or to Diola?
To Diola. Okay.
I lost you for a bit. And I just want to confirm that you can hear me.
I can hear you. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, good. Hi, I can hear you now.
Okay, yes. Diola, I was just asking that what role do you think youth play when it comes to achieving the Sustainable Development Goal? How do you think the youth come to play in that regard? Hello?
This is my question because, when you were speaking, but I'll just go ahead and I hope that people, can hear. Maybe we should move to someone else if it's my internet. Anyways, in Nigeria right now, I always like to, speak with like facts so that we know what we are dealing with. There are about over 70% of our population, is under the age of 30. And I think that what that does is that it presents us with both a challenge and an opportunity for sustainable development. I think it was Elizabeth who mentioned earlier, one thing that is peculiar to young people is that we bring fresh perspective to things. There might have been ways that our parents and the older generation have been doing things before now. But one thing that young people, the youth will always do is that they would always bring in, new innovative ideas. And we also have this very deep understanding of emerging technologies. A lot of our parents do not, understand how technology is currently, a lot of the things that we do, like with AI, with a lot of the tech companies that are currently, springing up all around Nigeria and even Africa. So it's important for us to be able to own that place and own that strength in achieving sustainable development. There are a lot of things that can be done. There are a lot of activities, a lot of interventions that can be done to further help our communities. I was at the Microsoft summit for non-profit executives a few weeks ago, actually. I think about a few weeks ago. And, you know, I learned about a technology, AI platform that is used to distribute medical supplies to hard-to-reach areas. That's something that somebody developed. That's so cool, if you understand what I mean. That's really cool. There was also another person who spoke about, you know, an AI that helps the users for loan repayment and subsequently to access, you know, funds, you know, so it's some sort of like a financial inclusion AI system, tech system that they can deploy to, you know, communities. It helps them to get loans. It helps them to pay back the loans. So they are not thinking about, oh, this is it puts like a structure for them for their business. So, you know, so long as you have a viable business, it puts that structure for them, helps them to build access loans, then helps them to break down how they're going to pay those loans, and then, you know, subsequently, obviously, enlarges their productivity, increases their productivity and their businesses as well. So I think that young people have a lot to do. Personally, even with the United Way, there are a lot of digital literacy programs that we hold. And it's not only because we just want to push out programs, it's because we know that in the next 25 years, a lot of the careers that we have at this time, and this is research-based, this is based, you know, on research, a lot of the careers that we have at this time would have emerged into more technologically inclined careers. So if Nigerian youth and young people are not involved in digital technology and digital innovation at this time, we are going to be missing out. We are going to be left behind, basically. A lot of people will not be able to compete globally. We will not be able to access some certain kind of jobs. That's actually that's the sole reason why United Way Greater Nigeria constantly has digital literacy programs. We are doing programs on digital marketing, on graphics, on front-end web development, on networking and security, robotics. We are always having one STEM program at every point or the other, because we understand that if we do not equip ourselves well enough, we are going to be left behind. Young people in Nigeria will not be able to compete for jobs. You're not going to be able to access global opportunities, you know, as time goes on. It's also important for you to understand the importance of the financial inclusion initiatives and how everything is becoming digitalized, with the banks, with access to businesses, opportunities, loan, like I talked about earlier. All of those people in the Northeast, in the North, and some other places as well, that are not able to access some of these opportunities is because they have very tiny or even little or non-existent technological access or ability. And it's important for young people to be able to see those opportunities and then help to improve their communities as well. Even in terms of climate change, there are lots of initiatives that we need to be at the forefront of, educating our communities and implementing sustainable practices using technology as well. Let's begin to introduce technology into these community areas. I know that United Way does some work, you know, with some of our partner organizations. We go into the markets, we clean the markets, we teach them about, you know, how to protect themselves from germs, from diseases, and also the things that will protect their environment from, you know, just disaster and floods and all of those kind of things. But some of these, there are technological solutions to some of these activities now, and we need to begin to introduce them to this community. We should not say, oh, they don't know it. No, we need to start introducing it to these market women as well, and also to the government. Thank you and well done, Bolu.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, while you were speaking, I was reminded of this quote by the UN Secretary, Antonio Guterres, which says that achieving SDGs requires a systemic shift, which can only happen if we empower young people and work with them as equals. Especially when you were speaking on us with United Way, empowering young people in forms of technology, because you know that they are the future and the future is now. Thank you very much, Deola, for sharing your thoughts. So I will be going back to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, could you please speak on what specific digital tools or platform has worked for you, that has been instrumental in amplifying your work to reach a greater or to reach a wider audience? Shortly or briefly, could you please speak on that?
Okay. So I mean, I've used all the social media platforms to a very large extent. So I can speak to a very large extent on different social media platforms. And I mean, I do tons of trainings on social media, how you can use social media for, social impact work. But one thing I would say definitely is, one, you need to understand your target audience. That's the first thing. And then you also need to understand, like, what information do you want to put out, right? Because that would sort of, in a way, allow you to determine which platform will be the best platform. If you want to put out information to the younger audience right now, the platform should be looking at putting out those informations, TikTok, right? WhatsApp, Facebook. To a very large extent, Instagram is not young people's favorite application. LinkedIn, they find it to be too serious. It's only if you're looking for a job, you go on LinkedIn. But you find them on Snapchat, you find them on TikTok, you find them on Facebook and WhatsApp. Everybody's on WhatsApp to a very large extent. And you can even use low data phones to access WhatsApp. So I would say that initially when I started out, right, this was 2013. I was how old then? I think I was 17 at the time. I just finished secondary school and I got into AHI as a youth program assistant under the YSP program, which Deola she's my senior, because she did the program way before I came to do the program, right? And at that time, as she said, social media was not really a big thing, So at that time it was Facebook. It was more of Facebook. So we did a lot of activities on Facebook, putting out content and putting out information on Facebook. Because you could go to cafes, if you remember at the time, you could go to cafes to use Facebook, even if you didn't have a mobile phone. So Facebook was the go-to platform. So it was Facebook for most part of that period. I mean, 2013 up until I think about 2014, 15, thereabouts. I think the game changer was WhatsApp. When WhatsApp came, it was a huge game changer because people would go on Facebook to chat, because they could have that one-on-one conversations, right? But as soon as WhatsApp came on board, what happened? Everybody moved from Facebook to WhatsApp. Facebook Messenger was no longer, the place where everybody wanted to be, because now you didn't even need to download the app. Just with your mobile phone, you could, chat and send messages to anybody who you wanted to. So it was Facebook and Twitter for the initial part of my social impact journey. So I remember at the time I was a pro at Twitter chats. Twitter chats at the time just started coming up. And I remember people would reach out to me. I'm like, let's come and host our Twitter chats. Let's come and, then we didn't have the spaces that you have now on X. Twitter is now called X. We didn't have the spaces then. So you had to lead conversations using chats on Twitter. It was so much fun thinking back on it, and it was such a good platform because for the kind of target audience I wanted to reach, which was not just only young people, but also the key decision makers, you would find them on Twitter. So if you're trying to get your governor to listen to you, go to Twitter, and tag them. If you want to get a donor to see what you're doing, go to Twitter. So Twitter was such a huge platform for that. So Facebook, Twitter, for most part, my early years, with regards to my social impact work, getting information out there to young people. It was much later that we started using Instagram. And Instagram is always most times more about maybe you're doing an IG live, or you're putting out like infographics on, different social issues that you're passionate about. One platform I want to talk about, and I feel like it's so underrated and people are not yet capitalizing on it as much as we should, is WhatsApp. So we did a test run in my organization. We wanted to have, we would plan programs, and would do them on Zoom, we'll do them on Google Meet, and we'll try to get young people to attend those programs. And we realized that we're getting low turnouts. Young people were not coming. Even when we'd give incentives like, oh, we'll give you money for data, we'll give you airtime, they were not showing up to a very large extent. And even the ones that would show up were more like the privileged ones, people who understood how Zoom worked or who understood how this platform worked. Zoom can be very complicated. Even for a lot of older people who are educated, they still struggle to use Zoom, And that was one challenge that we sort of noticed. So what did we do? We changed strategy. We said, instead of doing Zoom, let's have a WhatsApp group chat where young people can join the WhatsApp group. And then we have the discussions there. They make their contributions. And then for those who are still interested, we pull them into the WhatsApp online community. For those who feel like, oh, they want to. And most times we end up seeing that they all transit into the WhatsApp online community. So right now we have about 300 of our young people who have participated in different WhatsApp, group events that we've had, still in that group, still accessing information. We can always reach them through that platform. We can always provide information to them through that platform. And we ended up realizing that it was such an underutilized platform that a lot of people are not yet thinking around using it. Another thing has definitely been WhatsApp chatbots, right? Where you can just, send messages on WhatsApp to a chatbot that already has pre-programmed, responses to different questions. And I think the key thing when it comes to digital technology that I would say is it has to be easy. The moment it starts getting complicated, the moment, people have to struggle to access that platform, to get that information, you have failed at that solution. It has to be easy. It has to be easy for the people you need to use it. Once you're able to get that, you're able to achieve, your goals. Because at the end of the day, you need people to come to the platform to get the information. Once there is a gap in that happening, then that digital platform is, even though it's to people, they say it's the best, for your own social intervention, it's not the best platform. So you have to look at which medium or which platform, speaks or appeals to your target audience, right? And right now, of course, I work more with adolescents and young people. WhatsApp is literally what we use for most of our social media or digital like programs or interventions. Another thing that has really worked for us, I think I talked about it briefly earlier, is about having hybrid events. So what we do is would have like people would reach out to and say, oh, can you spare us a space in your office, to gather young people together. And so even though the event is happening virtually, they can still be within those, like we call them like viewing hubs or viewing centers, right? They can be within those spaces and still participate in it. So as we're currently having this event, we could have viewing centers, set up in different locations where young people come to those viewing centers and they're able to still participate, get all the information and get all the knowledge. And that has really helped. So I mean, for my social impact work, those have been like my greatest platforms. For my, promoting my work and what I do, definitely LinkedIn has been like one of my go-to spaces and go-to places for the longest time, because, you need to know anything about anybody, you go on LinkedIn, and it's such a good search engine optimized platform. When you type your name on Google, the first thing that comes up is your LinkedIn profile, in case you don't know. So if you are snoozing on LinkedIn, please don't snooze on it. One thing I'll just say is that for a lot of young people, I mean, it can be scary because you're asking yourself, what do I post? You go on LinkedIn, everybody is typing, I'm glad to announce, I just won, and it feels like everybody is winning something and everybody is getting something. And you are like, I've not won anything, I've not gotten anything, I've not gotten a new job, and so what am I going to say here, right? Look at LinkedIn like every other social media platform. The way you go on Facebook and you put out information and you talk about what you're doing, you go and speak somewhere, whatever. That's how you should look at LinkedIn. Put that same information out there on LinkedIn. And trust me, it would resonate with a lot of people. People would see the little efforts that you're putting in. And before you know it, people will start reaching out to you to see how they can support, how they can collaborate, how they can partner with you, and even you will now start getting those awards and start getting all those recognition, and people will also start telling you, oh, the person does this, let's nominate them for this award, But if you're not talking about what you're doing, then people don't see what you're doing, and then there's really no way they can, they can support you or even spotlight or highlight your work. I'll stop here. I think I've spoken so much, so much. I'll allow that people to speak. Thanks.
Elizabeth. Thank you. Like I said earlier before we started this panel, I already told you that United Way has brought in people who have the wealth of knowledge, and luckily enough, they are willing to share. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. So quickly, because I really want this to be very, very fast, I just have a few more questions, and this one will be going to Brenda. Could you please share some innovative ways that we can use digital platforms to promote our work? I know we had said it in some of the conversations that we've been having, but I would also like you to also just briefly speak on it. Hello.
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm back again. Sorry, before I respond to this question, so when Deola was done speaking, I was trying to speak, add to what she said, but then I had a call I had to quickly attend to. Before I get to your question, I just want to add to what Deola had said earlier about how youth can, I think the question was how youth can participate in, was it SDG or nation building? Was that the question?
Yes.
Which of it? Sorry.
Yes. Okay, so the question is, what role do, what role do you think the youth play in shaping the future in respect to society?
Okay, so in respect to sustainable development goals, so when she spoke, and something just struck in my mind that, so every time we talk about sustainable development goals, what maybe an average young person would want to think, can you see me? An average young person would want to think that, oh my God, you must be, making change on a very large scale. You must be there driving initiatives. We can sit at our homes and make change. And one way, especially in Nigeria right now, with the situation in the country, we know about the protests that a lot of young people said, oh, we are protesting on the 1st of August and all of that. So one way that we can lead change is by not complaining, taking action. So rather than sit down and wail and drag our leaders, what can we do even in our little corners? What are those personal changes that we are taking? So we are complaining that our leaders are not doing this. So in the little tasks that they even give to us, are we even being accountable? Do we have integrity? So those are little ways that we can contribute to sustainable development. Okay, now there are issues of discourse in the National Assembly. There are public issues. So are we now coming, to use social media platform, because Twitter, there's a lot of dragging. Do we now contribute to say, oh, our president is not doing well, this and that and that? What are we using that medium to do? That is how you can contribute. What solutions are you proffering? It may seem like, oh, the government is not seeing, nobody is seeing, but I can bet you, Elizabeth had mentioned Twitter, I can bet you that simple response you may give, that solution you may proffer, would go a long way to doing a whole lot of things. When, interestingly as it seemed, when the whole thing was going, this protest thing was going back and forth, and then I just spoke with one of my friends who is a minister, and then I was like, I'm not pleased that with all of these things that the youth are doing, I personally do not support what is going on, but then can the president at least, address the youth? Can the president do something? Yes, it may seem like, oh, I have a personal relationship with this minister, but at least I could lend a voice. I could do something. So we could start with the little in governance, in everywhere that we find ourselves. We talked a whole lot about innovation. We can be innovative. How can we provide solution to this challenge? It must not be on a larger scale. I want us to have that mindset that change does not begin from, oh, I need to save the whole world. It begins from even your community. It begins from that space, that school. So you can start, all of us here on this as panelists today, and I believe that some of us who are also volunteers on this call, we all started somewhere. So start from the little place that you can to change the narrative, and then be open to learning. Don't just get stuck in your knowledge. technology is disrupting the world. Like a lot of things are happening. People feel like, we may feel like you know something today, and then tomorrow you're waking up, this method has changed. So we need to be ready to learn. We need to take every opportunity to learn. We need to take every opportunity. Stop the hate speech. Stop the Igbo must go, the Yorubas must go. All of those conversations. As change makers, you have no business in such conversations. That is how you can actually change. That is part of the ways you can actually change the narrative. So I thought to to say that before I respond to my questions. So now to the questions, I'm actually trying to remember it right now. I think you asked what are those,
and use digital platforms to promote our work.
so Elizabeth has said a whole lot about this, but I'll just like to say that know the trends. Sometimes like I tell my communications team, let's jump on hashtags, because that's where you can actually let's jump on trend. So everybody's doing so this trend that is trending now, give me my money, like if you have team, like you can, okay, this is what is trending at this point. How can you actually use that, give me my money, to pass a message? How can you actually use like common trends either on Instagram, either on TikTok, Snapchat? How can you jump on those trends to actually pass your message? And then one of the things that is more appealing is videos. Videos are more appealing, very interesting videos. So you've done your work. How can you tell people that, oh, I've done this, I've done this work? Maybe, for example, okay, so I just had this meeting with my team today. So we are having a training that we are launching on Tuesday. And we're like, okay, we are going to share the impact of the training at the end of the day, but how can we make people to be a part of our process? How can we, get ready with me? When they say get ready with me as I go to church. Now, how can people get ready with us as we implement this program? Can we have a video from inception, even when we are doing community engagement? Can you hear me? Even when we are doing community engagement, when the women are actually in the field training, just little clips. At the point of graduation, we are taking that clips, we are putting everything together. And at the end of the day, we could just ask one or two women to share the impact of the training. So with that, you are carrying your audience along from beginning. So it doesn't just happen like something that you just call people and put them together in a hall. With that, you have been able to let people know that this thing did not just happen in a day. And I bet you that donors may even look at it to say, these people are very detailed. These people are who they say they are. They're not just gathering people and just, dashing off money in one venue. So I think that's another thing that can be done. There are a lot of other things like webinar, like what we are having right now is another way that we can, promote our work. So for example, we are having this talk. Let's say maybe one other organization, let me not just say United. So maybe another organization is celebrating National Literacy Day is coming up next month. And then there's International Day of the Girl Child. So, digital platform provided the opportunity to save cost saving initiative. So what can you do? You can, try to have events like this, webinar like this. Now do a little video of your company, of your organization's, journey, maybe impact. So while we are having the guest speaker have maybe the speech, you can just say, okay, let's watch this short video. With that, you're also promoting, your work, you're amplifying your work, you're letting people to see your work, and jumping on Reels a whole lot. Reels are very far. So I may not be so familiar with LinkedIn and the rest, but one thing I know for sure is Instagram, Telegram, Elizabeth mentioned WhatsApp, and I also wanted to talk about Telegram. Telegram is so powerful. Telegram can make you have more than 500 people in one group. So you can reach out to as many people as possible. You could, okay, we do not have money to make to implement this activity this month. Can we gather a lot more young people, encourage them to open Telegram? You open it, you have your classes, you have your sessions. So there are just so many ways. It's for us to open our minds, be very innovative, be flexible too. One thing I've really discovered is young people have creativity when it comes to social media. Some of the ideas that I have, we are planning 20 lessons with B. It's coming up next month. Some of the creative ideas we even have, it's not coming from me. It's coming from the young volunteers that we have. So be open to learning, because these are the people that are really, really the Gen Zs and the, what was the other generation? Those are the ones that are really on social media coming up with this initiative. So feel free to feel free to ask your team, what do we do? What are the ideas? Let's not think that we are reservoirs of knowledge. We should open our minds to, asking our team members, what trend should we jump on? What initiatives? How do we promote our work? How do we invite people to, come to our programs and all of that? And I tell you, you will have a lot of amazing ideas. And then you could also, there's nothing bad with looking at other people, the way other people are doing their work. It's not comparison, it's not copycat, but it's also about learning and research. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for contributing to this. Because we are running really fast, please, I would like us, because I know that there are a lot of people like me who wants to know your story and how you got to where you are. I would like us to, so I would let Deola go first. Deola, could you briefly, please, very brief, in the best way that you can summarize it, because I know that your level of experience cannot be summarized in a few minutes, but in the best way that you can, could you please share with us your journey as a change maker or your story? And I'm hoping that someone gets inspired.
I'm sorry, I was speaking and I was on
Hello,
mute. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you very much. So for me, I'm just going to go straight to, the points really. I started, okay, there's something on the screen about me. If you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to speak to this picture. It's easier to speak to it than to, so that way I keep it very short. At 13, I got an opportunity to be trained as a peer health educator with Action Health Incorporated, and they came to our school at the time, and I had the opportunity to be trained, and I had to, become like a president of the Health and Life Planning Club of my school at the time. They had created a club in the school, and they had trained all the people that they wanted to be the leaders of those clubs, and that's how I got introduced to development work. I had also done some volunteering with them after school. By the time I was in GS3, at 13 I was in GS2, so that gives you an idea. By the time I was in GS3, by the time I finished senior secondary school as well. When I finished senior secondary school, and that's the picture you see on the right, I was a youth program on the left, sorry. I was a youth program assistant at Action Health Incorporated. Same organization actually, and this was in 2010. Had gone back there now as an intern. I'd finished from secondary school. I had a gap year, worked at United a year, just to also understand and learn the ropes of development. He also gave me, it was I think Elizabeth spoke about it earlier. It was a youth skill development program, YSDP, which they still do, by the way. So if you're in Lagos and you want to take an opportunity, take that opportunity, or you know someone who needs to take that opportunity, you should definitely, look them up. Yeah, I joined United Action Health, did a couple of projects work, which introduced me to development work proper. By the time I went back to the university, finished with the university, I came out and then made sure that I did my NYSC at another nonprofit, although this time around it was in Ibadan. The nonprofit is one of the biggest in Nigeria, actually. It's called Association for Reproductive and Family Health, Ibadan. A lot of you who stay in Oyo State might know it. I went ahead, to work with Murtala Mohammed Foundation, to work with Chudanego Foundation, and then I've landed at United Way Greater Nigeria. In all of these, my goal is just to continue to bridge the gap between local needs, global solutions, and also to empower young people to be at the forefront of sustainable development efforts. I like to tell my story a lot, but you can always read it online. There's a whole lot more things I could have shared, but because of time, I will not be able to do that. You can read my stories online. I've done a couple of interviews for some online platforms, so you might be able to find that online as well. I'm willing, Bolu, I hope that would have time for people to ask questions so that we can just provide, even if it's two sentences each. Let's just provide direction, let's provide help, support. So it might be better to ask people to also write their questions in the chat box. That way, we just read the question and respond to it immediately. They don't take a while to also share their thoughts, So that might be a good thing. So I suppose that you would want others to also share their brief story as well.
Yes.
As quickly as possible, yeah.
Okay, so can we have Elizabeth? Thank you, Diola, actually, for sharing
Yeah,
that.
it's time to talk. Yes, so I mean, my story started from AHI, and I think Diola already sort of spoke to that, the program and what the program is about. So I just completed, my secondary school, and interesting. I think I don't think I've said this in a lot of places. I didn't work in AHI because I was sort of like this passionate person about development. It was more around like I wanted to go to school. I needed money to go to school, and at that point in time, after that completed, had a good job opportunity for me to be able to raise funds to go to school. But I sort of enjoyed what the work was about. And I think to a large extent, I sort of already had that, characteristics or features or traits of wanting to give back. I just hadn't been in a space that kind of awakened, that ginger or fire in me, And so I feel like sometimes, people feel like you have to be this passionate, your story has to be, oh, you were so passionate about that issue, you saw this issue was this. And so I'm like, it's okay for you to, get into a situation or find yourself in a situation where you're like, oh, this is something that I'm actually interested in and I want to do something about it. And that was, the story in my case. I got to AHR and I got to realize that, SRHR was such a critical issue. And I'm from the north, I'm from Kaduna State. And in my state, child marriage is such a huge issue. I had a lot of my cousins who were very young getting married. So it just sort of clicked, it connected. I was like, okay, so this is the problem and this is the solution to the problem. And I can be a part of that solution, right? And so even when I finished from AHR and I was in school, I was in University of Lagos studying, I was still volunteering. I was a serial volunteer. I volunteered for tons of organizations, even while I was in the university. And one pivotal moment that sort of, I would say kind of elevated my work and my career within the development space was 2015, when I got nominated by the Executive Director of Action Health Incorporated, Mr. Denike Esiet, to sit on the Girls Engagement Advisory Board for Advocates for Youth, which is a US-based NGO that does a lot of work on sexual reproductive health and rights. And I got the opportunity to go to, to New York to speak to SRHR issues, at UNGA and so many other events that happened in New York at the time. That gave me tons of spotlight. There was a lot of attention that I got at that time, that kind of really, I think it just moved me from zero to up there. But I think one thing I'll just say, and tons of other things I've done, over time. Of course, I mean, I met Brenda in UNFPA YPP. I don't know if you know about that platform. It's also a youth group. It's called the Youth Participatory Platform. It was established in 2015. And so it was at the same time when I was, going to New York for UNGA that I got selected to be on the YP platform. It's such an amazing platform where young people are trained, your capacity is built to support UNFPA in their work, right? So UNFPA is the United Nations Population Fund, and they do a lot of work around sexual reproductive health and rights, women empowerment, young people focused, right? And so it was an opportunity for us to really take charge, design programs, implement programs, go to community, do community work. And that sort of like really contributed to like technical skills I have today. I used to say something. If you say you're a volunteer, don't be a volunteer by just title. It's cool to say you're a volunteer and take pictures and post online. It's great too. But while you're volunteering, make sure you are learning, you're building yourself, you're gaining skills, because you would, especially if you want to build a career out of it. It's okay if you're just doing it as your way of giving back. But if you want to build a career in the development space, being a volunteer is not enough. You need to have skills, right? That people will be able to say, okay, I can give you this and I can trust that you will deliver on it. I can tell you to manage a project from start to finish. That's a skill you build over time. And you can only build that skill when you're intentional about learning, So don't be quick to run away when there are calls for who can do this, who can do that. In fact, be the first person to jump on that opportunity, because what you're doing is you're learning and you're getting that skill that other people unfortunately will not get because they didn't jump on that opportunity to do those things, right? So it was sort of like a very good opportunity for me to really like build myself and build my skills. And it has just been, a great journey with bumps along the way, definitely. But even those bumps have been learning moments, honestly. You learn from them, you get better, and you just keep on going. So I think, like, for me, 3 things that stand out: consistency, right? Consistency. If you look at Brenda's story, if you go online and check, if you look at Deola's story, consistency. We've been consistently doing this for over a decade. We didn't get tired, even when we're not getting money, we're not getting paid. It was free work. You even use your own money. Nobody's giving you a dime, right? But we still stayed and we still continued and we're doing it.
We were volunteers for years.
For years, before the gigs started coming, before the money started coming.
For years.
Exactly.
Thank you,
so
Elizabeth.
you need to be consistent at this game. Because remember, I'm not the only one in the space. There are so many other people, right? So what stands you out? Consistency. So you need to be consistent, always ready to learn. Always be ready to learn. Don't run away from responsibilities. Be ready to take on responsibilities and learn from those, from those responsibilities. Build yourself. It's a learning process. Till today, I still learn. I'm still learning. Every day I keep learning and relearning and unlearning, right? So it's a learning process. And then the final thing I would say is authenticity. Everybody's in the space, but we know the people that are doing the work. And I will tell you this for a fact. You might have 1 million followers online, but we know the people that are doing the work. We all know ourselves. And that's the facts. And the people that know the people that are doing the work, they know themselves. And
some of us are not social media influencers.
Exactly.
We only know how to do the work. We are not influencers. I only know how to do the work.
Deola, we are allowing the influencers to take over this space.
Oh, I understand, Brenda.
It's okay for you to be an influencer.
Yeah,
it's okay for you to be an influencer.
Okay,
but if that's the path you want to follow, that's
push
great.
Comes to shove, when people really want to get people to get the job done, they know who to go to. That's the truth.
Exactly.
That's the truth.
Exactly. So I'm just like, be authentic, right? We're not saying don't try to be an influencer if you want to be. There's so much money for content creation, social media influencing. There's money in that, right? But you need to understand what you want. And as Brenda mentioned something, your why. Everybody's why is different. My why is not to be a content creator. My why is not to be a content influencer, right? That's not my why. My why is to make impact at the community level, right? At the grassroots level. Am I doing that? Yes. Is the impact being made? Yes. Am I getting, the results that I want to get? Yes. As far as I'm getting that, I'm fulfilled. I've done my work. I'm satisfied. I don't care whether I have 1 million followers or not. But if you're somebody who is a content creator or influencer, those are your own metrics, right? That you have to measure against to see how many followers do you have now? Has it grown? Has it not grown? So just understand your why and be authentic towards it, right? Be authentic towards it so that anywhere anybody sees you, they know who you are, they know what you stand for. Because in this space, it can get very drowning. You can get drowned in it. There are so many people coming up. There's always going to be somebody else. There's always going to be somebody who is new in the space, who will be hot cake. There will be a period you'll be hot cake. Everybody will rush you like moi, you know. But somebody else will come. Somebody else who is younger, who has more, you know, finesse or whatever, who will come up, right? But people will always still come back to you because you've proven over time that you are it. Exactly. So I think I'll just stop there. Thank you.
Thank you. If this was a master class and we're paying, I'll definitely pay. I don't know why I'm paying. Okay, because we don't have so much time, Brenda, please, could you, if you were to give an advice to someone who aspired to be a change maker, what would you tell that person? What would you say to
at this point, I think I need to carry a placard. Because you don't want me to share my story, but I mean that's totally fine. So if I to advise someone who wants to be a social change maker, right? What would it be? Yeah. So for me, the first thing is, I mentioned earlier, and Elizabeth reiterated, I like to do something because I want to do something. I like to do something because so I'm a very spiritual person. I want to do something because God has directed me to do something. So I'm not going to do something because, oh, it's the in thing. Is the thing that everybody's talking about. I'm not going to do it because, oh, when I do it, I'm going to get that scholarship. I'm not going to do it because when I do it, I'm going to get that award. If that is your why, you can get frustrated. So the first step I would say is, what is the problem? What problem do you want to solve? What problem do you want to solve? Because I think I saw a question here, somebody saying I want to do trainings. And the thing is, in what area, like, so for me, when I started my journey a little bit, I'm not going into, I won't go into so much details. When I started my journey, I don't know how many, of course, it's only Deola and Elizabeth that may know GPI. I started as a GPI girl. I was 10. I went into GPI 3 years, 13. I graduated. I became a children parliamentarian. And my focus then as a children parliamentarian were just FGM issues, child rights. We actually advocated for child rights law in Cross River State. And those were the surface thing for me. But when I went into social work, and I realized that there were issues that resonated with me. Those are SRHR issues. I was exposed to other issues, HIV and AIDS. I was exposed to human trafficking, but there were issues that I took because these were issues that resonated with me. These were things that, when you mention sexual abuse, this is something I can jump up from my bed. When, there's a rape victim somewhere, I can jump up from my bed without grudges, without even feeling like someone is trying to inconvenience me. So for me, those were the things. So that step, knowing my why, passion for it, not doing it because everybody is doing it, not doing it because it feels or look cool to be a social impact professional. So you need to understand what problem you're solving, what solution are you even bringing on board. And then you need to also analyze, because we live in a society right now where there are NGOs everywhere, there are social impact people everywhere. So this problem I'm solving, has another person solved this problem before? What approach is this person using to solve this problem? It could be, you can upscale it. I like to tell people that before, just like a business, you're starting a business, you cannot just go into the business, the market blindly. You need to do a survey. So just like you're a social impact person, yes, this problem, I'm not the first person in the world trying to solve this problem. Other people have solved it. That is if you have a genuine reason for solving this problem. You need to find out this approach that this person has used, how has this approach really worked? So let me tell you, for example, when we started BrainCare Foundation, as at then, a lot of NGOs in Cross River State were doing interventions in Calabar. And BrainCare Foundation started as a gist I was having with my friends. Like, okay, what can we do? And we started going to in rural communities. We would join our transport. By then I was done with NYSC, just coming back from NYSC, you are trying to figure out your life and all of that. But I went back to work with GPI, but I felt like we needed more, impact in the rural communities. And okay, a lot of NGOs are working in the urban. These people too need real impact. And we started working in the rural communities. We realized that menstrual hygiene was a huge problem, because we will go to give SRHR information, that is the whole sexual and the other component. But menstrual hygiene was silent. Schools were not having toilets. And that also became like a problem we needed to address initially. So yes, know your why, get mentors, do your research, learn a lot from people. Don't feel like you're an expert. Look out for people who have been in the space for a very long time. Don't be afraid to ask people to be your mentor, to be your coaches. The only thing, when you approach people and they say no, you lose nothing. So make that first step. Don't feel very proud. Don't do it for all the fame that you will get. Just do it for the right reason. When you do it for the right reason, I tell you that every time you see your beneficiary, your participant blossom, when you see the impact, you are very happy. I tell people, money doesn't motivate me. You can give me 10 million naira right now. I don't feel motivated, honestly. But when I see the child that has graduated from secondary school because of me, I feel 100 times motivated, because this is my life. I've made social impact like expression of me. So if you are sure this is a space that you want to go into, then you must be ready. When money doesn't come, you must stand still. Consistency, originality, authenticity. Elizabeth has talked about that. But most importantly, please know your why, your passion. Ask people for questions, seek clarification, attend conferences, workshops. It may seem very little, like, these conferences look like it's little people that will be there. Maybe it's that conference that will actually lift you up, you understand, accelerate your success. So don't take little opportunities for granted. Be open to learning. That's my favorite word, my mantra. Be open to learning. We learn every day. If you say you stop learning, that means you're a fool. My priest will say that. Only a fool say, I've stopped learning. So keep learning, and do not be afraid to ask questions and ask for mentors. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brenda. Thank you for the insightful words that you've shared. And of course, to all our panelists, this is amazing. It's sad, but I'm also excited to say that we've come to the end of this discussion. And I would like us in the comment section to please appreciate the panelists for their time, and of course for all that they've shared. I know we have some people who may have one or two questions. Because of time, I'm not able to take all of them, but in the chat box now, you can access or follow our panelists, because I'm already seeing someone saying, how can I get mentor and all of that. Even if you don't have direct mentorship to them, when you follow their work, I believe that this is a way for you to also learn from them. Just like I said about Elizabeth, I've been following her for a while now. And whether you like it or not, there are one or two things I've been able to pick from her work and every other thing. So their organization link would be in the chat box. Their personal social media handles would also be on the chat box. But I'm only able to take one question. So if you know that none of the question you want to ask has not been addressed, and you are sure, I would like you to just signify, raise up your hand. I'll let you speak, and that's the only question we'll be taking. But if you still have more questions bothering your mind and I'm not able to take it, leave it on the chat box. Put your name there. I can always get across to the panelists, and I'm sure they'll be willing to provide answers to this question. So do we have anyone? Quickly? We still have to take volunteers' testimonials. So please, do we have any other person, or do you have anyone? I'm not seeing any hands, so I'm just going to assume that nobody's raising his or her hands. So yeah, moving on. So the
Okay,
other
so Bolu,
event,
sorry, Bolu, I'm so sorry. In the absence, let me just grab this opportunity where people are not asking questions, just to say that since we have a lot of young people here, there's a platform by the grace of God we have. It's 20s Lessons with P. This platform is typically for people in their 20s to gain insight, direction, guidance on how to navigate their 20s. So if you're wondering how to get mentors, we are going to be launching our mentoring program in October, sorry. And you can follow this because we bring seasoned experienced people in their 20s and people who have even gone ahead of us to share insightful conversation experiences and how you can navigate these 20s. Please follow our 20s Lessons with B. And we had Elizabeth had shared a story one time with us, and we are sure going to bring her back again. So please, and Diola will also reach out to you. So please follow 20s Lessons with B to learn more about our lives and aspirations. Thank you.
thank you very much, Brenda. We have not even left the discussion, and we already have opportunities for those who are looking for mentors and who are even looking to learn more. I would encourage everyone to actually tap into this, and I'm sure you would learn so much. So moving on, I have the pleasure of introducing Gift Ijeoma. She's a volunteer at United Way. Gift, could you briefly, if you're on the call and if you're able to unmute, could you briefly share your experience as a United Way volunteer? Briefly, thank you. Do we have Gift?
Tabir, please mute your Tabir Hamza.
Hello, yes.
Is this supposed to speak?
Okay, so while we are waiting for Gift to be I'd like to call on, I don't know if Kayode Ogunaike is on the call. Okay, can we have Omotoyosi Oladeji on the call? Omotoyosi Oladeji.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
It's good to have you.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you, everyone, for the panel session. I've learned a whole lot. I've been able to pick one or two things, a lot, not even one or two things. Thanks a lot to the amazing panelists. Thank you, everyone. I really, really sincerely appreciate this impactful meeting that we just have had. So my experience with United Way Greater Nigeria has been an amazing one as a volunteer. Basically, I was opportune, right, to be to have an access grant for the International Youth Day grant for 2022, which was in support to the impact of the work that I do, as an undergraduate. Although now I'm a graduate now. I did my sign-out today. So basically, yeah, so I was opportune to have an access grant, yes, to the work that we do, which is to reach out to underprivileged children in remote communities, in rural areas, to give them access to quality educations and better opportunities. And it was just such an amazing privilege, right, to have this access grant in order to give these children, to improve the learning outcome. So we got materials to improve the learning outcomes of these children, and basically these kids are not able to read and write and all, but the materials giving majorly digital literacies, tablets and all. has been able to like intensify the impact of our work and the work that we do. And this is such a great privilege, like for us and the work that we do with United Way Greater Nigeria in support of the work that we do. So I'm really, really grateful for everything, like the impact and all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toyosi. Toyosi is doing an amazing job with the foundation. I say this because I was there and I see the amazing things that she's doing. Of course, you can also follow our work across all social media. The link should also be in the chat box. Thank you, Toyosi, for joining us. If Gift is on the call, I'll just allow her speak. But if not, then we can get into the prize or the games night. This is supposed to be fun. It's actually supposed to be fun. And I'll just Jerry, is Jerry on the call? Okay, so yeah, I will just hand over to Jerry now. So yeah.
All right, everyone. So I want to believe we've been having a great time. Definitely, I've been having a great time. So if you have learned a lot today, I want to go into the comments, into the chat box rather, and drop a comment about what you've learned or your favorite emoji that can best express how well you feel this evening. So let me start saying comment in the chat box. Okay. Okay, the emojis are coming in. So a link will be dropped for us now for us to participate in the game. So I want us to really be fair because this game is about the fastest fingers, the quicker the better. That's just what I can say for now. So while we wait for the link, let the emojis keep coming in. You can also drop the favorite quotes that you've received this evening. You can drop the favorite quotes you received this evening in the chat box now. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Or you can go to slido.com. Yes, anyone, or click on the link.
Okay, so I'm seeing some amazing quotes in the chat box, and wow. I just want to say that I hope so much that when after this event, I want us to take one or two from what we've learned here and try to implement it into our daily lives and ensure that we be the change that we want to see. Yes. So if you are yet to click the link or if you are yet to join the game, you can still do that now before we start the game. Remember, I said it is for the fastest finger, and then the winners go home with the prize. So let's join the game and be a part of it. Who knows what the prize is?
So I see Bamiboye Taiwo. Can we have more people join? I'll post the link again just in case we missed it earlier. Yeah, I want to believe that's it. I want to believe that's it. So yeah, let's join. Okay, we have D. Can we have more people join? Please, can we make this very fast? I'm really hoping it can be very fast so that we can leave as soon as possible. I know people have things that they need to get back to. So if you're seeing the link on the chat, please click on it and join. Can we have more people? We have Bamiboye Taiwo, we have D. I can't see the link. How come?
People are asking you to drop the whatever link in the.
The link is on the chat.
Or you can tell people how to To scan the
So sorry.
barcode. Open your camera and scan the barcode.
Sorry about that. I was
The
thinking
is
you
also
wanted
in the
to
chat as
do-
well. And we can also put the link in on the WhatsApp group. So I have done that now. The
Okay,
link is also on the WhatsApp group.
we have more people joining now. Yes, Monica. I want more people to join so that we can continue. Yes, 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 yes. I love the numbers. I love the numbers already. Let's have more people join us. We're 32 on the call. If I have up to 20 people join, we'll start. Okay, yes, I think we can work with this while others join. So are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
So a question will pop on your screen now. You're expected to pick the correct answer.
Before the time runs out. Remember, I said
Yes.
it is for the fastest fingers.
Okay.
So this is United Way Greater Nigeria is an affiliate of Wish International non-profit. Save the Child, Audition, United Way Worldwide.
So let's move on. Let's move on. We have K topping that chart. So yes, next question. If you had picked United Way Worldwide, that's definitely correct.
Right answer.
Moving on. So the second question, when is International Youth Day
Youth Day
celebrated?
celebration and celebrated annually.
Time is ticking. Oh, nice. So it's actually August 12th. It's not September 21, and neither is it October 24. So yeah. So if you picked August 12th, you're correct. You're correct. And for this particular one, Monica, now you should be seeing the third question on your screen. Which of the following is not a focus area? United Way Greater Nigeria. Time is ticking. Okay. Okay. Actually, if you pick the answer is all if you pick that. So what is the theme of the International Youth Day 2024? Okay. Moving on. The following are panelists for this event, except I'm hoping all of us get the answer. I'm hoping. Time is ticking. Oh wow, some of us didn't get the answer, but that's fine. Just so we know, Angela Williams is actually the United Way Worldwide CEO. You can also check her out and what she's doing with United Way in general. So moving on. Yes, so next question is up, and the last question actually. I think okay. So we work across all 36 states. Oh, so we have our top three. We have D, We have Kumuyi.
Congratulations to the winners.
Okay, so we'll be taking out. Oh, could you help us with your real name actually, so that we just don't say D.
Forget Dio. Take the next person.
No,
Oh,
nobody. You just type your name in the chat box.
I said forget D. You are still saying D. Just type your name. Kumuyi,
alright.
Kumuyi, Olabisi, and Denish.
Kennedy Bernard.
Okay.
Kenichi Bernard.
Okay, so we'll be doing. Thank you very much to everyone who has joined that. I'm excited. I'm sure some people you tried, and I'm seeing here that the hardest question was supposed to be our focus area, and I did speak on that at the beginning of this meeting. So moving on. Jerry, yeah.
Oh, all right, guys.
Okay.
First off, congratulations to the winners of the game. Everyone tried, of course, but someone there has to be a winner. But however, I just want to run us through some information that maybe have not been mentioned during the course of the program, which is the fact that we all know that for the fact that we are here, we are volunteering with United Nigeria. And next month, which is going to be the World Cleanup Day on 21st, United Way is going to be having a cleanup program in 12 states across the country. So for more information about that, you can actually check the group. More information will be dropped there. But I just want us to be aware and be prepared to participate in the activity. And also, don't forget to always follow us on all our social media platforms to be able to keep up the activities and be a part of the journey as it goes. So thank you very much.
Okay, so we'll be doing a little feedback now. We're having a little feedback. On the chat box, you should be getting a link. You should be getting a link now. Okay, I can also do that on my end. Okay, so I just sent a link. Kindly click on that link, and yes, it take you to this. Yeah. So I would like us to share a quote to commemorate International Youth Day. Anyone share a quote to commemorate IYD 2024? It can be a personal quote, it can be a quote that resonates with you, but share a quote. I'm hoping nobody has issues trying to join or connect. The link is on the chat box if you're able to join. Okay, we have response. Change starts with me, definitely. If you need to create a change or be a change maker, you have to bring about that change, even within yourself. We are the driving force. We can make a change, definitely. When we come together, we're able to make a change. Being a youth gives you a reason to be useful. Oh my, that's amazing. I love to hear that. Youth are the leaders of tomorrow. I beg to differ, though. We are the future, and the future is now. I think over the years they've been saying youth are the leaders of tomorrow, and somehow they sideline us. I'm not of that opinion anymore. Youth are the leaders of today, and we need to, okay, youth are the anchors of all nations. Be the change you want to see. I agree with that. Use your youth. You are not, I was trying to read that. I'm the change of the world. I'm the change the world needs. I don't know if you go to church, but I agree. Amen. Youth are the architects of tomorrow, shaping the world with their futures. Oh my, this is actually amazing. I can continue reading, but because we need to actually move fast, we just move on to the next slide. So what are the key takeaways from the panel discussion? I want to see it. I know some of you have so many things to say. You know that thing that we do in church and we say, right on, Pastor. I'm sure some of you are in your homes and we are saying, right on, Diola, right on, Brenda, right on, Elizabeth. So let me see some of those takeaways. And I believe most of us are writing, are taking notes of these things that we are taking away. Let's just in case some people were not able to catch it. So let's have more people share their key takeaways, what they gained from the panel discussion. The future belongs to those who dare to dream beyond youth, beyond boundaries. Youth are the dreamers, definitely. I see someone writing something. Someone is tampering with my hair. Let's stop, please. Let's not drop. To be consistent in what we are doing, even when you are not getting any applause. Yes, exactly. Consistency is key. There is a lot of ground to cover. One city at a time, impact can be made. What? Stand from the little place and start from the little place and be open to learn and be open to learning. I believe that's what the person is trying to say. I believe. So moving on, thank you very much for sharing. So moving on, I would like you guys to share your feedback on the overall virtual please share your overall feedback. We want to hear from you. That's one thing I like about United Way. United Way is not just an organization that just say, oh yeah, do. We actually want feedbacks. These feedbacks help us to make better events, help us to plan better, help us to do better. So I'm hoping that we can we can share our feedback, and this feedback doesn't even have to be things that we need to do better. It can be something we did right that you like. It was impressive, a challenging discussion. I love it. You have my love already. Thank you very much for saying that. Satisfactory. Thank you very much. Thank you. Can we have more people? If I have like 5 people, yeah. The virtual event was insightful and interesting. I agree. I know I've been moderating, but I've also been able to learn and I've been enjoying myself. I'm sure you can already tell. I'm sure you can tell. Can we have more people? I'm seeing people dropping your feedback on the chat already. Keep up the good work. It was amazing learning from the panelists, learned a lot. The event, United Way Greater Nigeria, is doing an amazing job. Thank you. Mind blown. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for sharing. Yeah, without wasting, I see your fire emojis too. Thank you. Thank you for the house. Now my Nigeria. But we've come to the end of this event. Thank you for the outstanding webinar, the clear and engaging virtual made complex idea easy to grasp. Greatly, thank you. I'm not doing video again. Greatly enhancing our learning experience. Your efforts really made a difference. Thank you very much. I'll stop sharing now. Thank you. Thank you very much everyone for joining the call. I really appreciate you. I know we have people from across Nigeria. We have people from Bayelsa, Kaduna, Abuja. Thank you for repping your state. Thank you for doing amazing things. Please don't stop supporting our work. Don't stop creating impact in your community. And thank you very much. With this, I'm just going to leave you with this word. You're the change that you want to see. I think I picked that up from someone who said that, and I totally agree. I think Deola has something to say. I'll just let her speak.
Yeah, I also wanted to say a big thank you to our panelists and everyone who joined us today. I just want to say that United Way Greater Nigeria hopes to continuously work with young people. So you see that email address, when Bolu was speaking about it at the beginning of the session, I particularly dropped it myself, and it's because I want people to reach out to us. I want you to reach out to us for partnership, for community engagement at the grassroots level, across your different states, across your communities. Please speak to us. Let's work together. Let's see what we can do. Let's connect you to the people that we know that can support your work at the time if we are not able to. So I really, really hope that people reach out to us with that email address that I dropped on the chat earlier. Okay, someone is asking me to send it again, and I'm going to do that. I'm doing it because I really want people to reach out to us.
I've sent it already. Jerry already sent it again.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you once again for joining and for staying through to the end. I hope that the people who got there, who did very well in the quiz, get their gifts sent to them. Thanks to everyone, and thank you to Bolu for anchoring this program. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, just to add again, if you're looking forward to advocate for our cause, or volunteer or give, on our website, we already have these icons there. If you want to advocate, you see the different channels to advocate. If you want to volunteer, you're able to do that directly. And of course, if you want to give to our cause, you can also do that. With this, I'm just going to say thank you very much to everyone who took out time today to join, and of course to the amazing team members I have. And also, I know I didn't remember to mention the Live United team. They are amazing. And just in case you don't know who the Live United team, I'm sure we'll talk about them some other time. And you would also see our call for application to become a volunteer, of course a virtual volunteer. Yeah, thank you very much for your time. Thank you. So yeah, we have come to the end of today's event. Thank you for joining. Bye everyone. Bye.
Thank you, guys. All right, so